We're this close to crowning an NBA champ, and with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. There are only 4 teams left, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odd boosts, and so much more.
Think the T-Wolves will continue their hot streak? Or maybe you feel that the Pacers' Cinderella run continues. Throw up to $1,500 with DraftKings no sweat bet. New customers can deposit at least $5 and you'll get a bonus bet back equal to your first bet if it doesn't hit.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins, Jenkins, for new customers to get a no sweat bet up to $1,500 if your first bet doesn't hit. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Welcome to Jenkins and Jones on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Sunday, June 2nd, and the finals start on Thursday. But tonight, we've got a live mailbag. Thank you so much to everyone joining us. YouTube.com/@JenkinsandJones. We're going to take your questions. We're going to take your suggested topics. Very excited to interact with you guys a little bit more. The chat's been so good. I went back and was reading the chat from the last couple episodes, and I was like, we should be talking to people more because there's been a lot of funny comments and conversation going on in the chat as we've been recording. As always, Jenkins and Jones, hosted by Dragonfly Jonez, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Ooh. Fucking.
Yeah, that's kind of deep, though. That wasn't even. Did it jump, Mike?
Quiet Storm Jones.
I had him with the Barry White.
That motherfucking Mike started blushing.
Quiet Storm.
You good?
The
Man, to wipe his brow.
Yeah, that was a fucking sweat mop, right there. LaJethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's that, Bubbas?
I'm Gardy B, a.k.a. Mike.
Motherfucking Mike.
Fucking Mike. That nigga gone,
Hitting us with the special effects.
Right.
With the fucking blackout for the
Man,
intro.
turn the camera back on.
Motherfucker with Undertaker on
us.
us during his intro. We need to hit that church bell ring and shit.
Fuck yeah, this fucking camera. Hold on. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Right,
there we go.
And we're produced as
Clarity.
always by the lovely and talented Jackson Saffron.
What's up?
All right, so here's how it works, chat. Thanks for joining us. Jackson, are people in the chat? Okay, good.
Yes.
Chat, here's the deal. You give us stuff to talk about, and we'll talk about it. If it's getting dry and we don't have enough to talk about, we're going to talk about whether or not the WNBA is being racist to Caitlin Clark. So it's your decision.
We ain't answering the questions in the emails?
Oh, I thought they were giving us questions in the chat.
No, we got
we can do both.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We can start with either way. We can start with the chat if you'd like, if you want to go.
We can
talk
maneuver
about
to the emails. Jackson, Josh, if y'all want to keep an eye on the chat and bring us in.
Yeah, I got the chat covered.
We'll be like, nice little teamwork going on here, brother.
Hell yeah,
Look
man.
at that.
Oh, god damn. Yeah, we got a lot of questions. I didn't even know we put the email out there. Okay, shit.
I like the God damn. Well,
God
that was a
damn.
God damn.
I like this dude's name, Joshua Jelks. That's
You
a good
probably
name.
shouldn't say his whole name, my nigga.
What's that?
People don't want their whole name said on our shit.
Oh,
Sometimes they do.
I mean, a lot of times they don't, man. What, a dude changed his
Okay,
whole Twitter
okay.
profile from shit I said 6 years ago. So maybe I'm just, I got PTSD from motherfuckers complaining. But go ahead.
all right. I'm not gonna say what question he sent. I'm just saying I saw this name in the subject line, Joshua
Good save,
Jelks.
Mike.
That's a great name.
Okay.
I'm just complimenting
Good
his
save.
name.
Yeah. Okay. That is a good name. That's a good
It's
name.
alliterative.
He could have been anything. He could have been an
Probably-
athlete. That's an athlete name
He
too.
can go by JJ. He can go by
Yeah.
Josh. He can go by Josh Jokes. That's one of those names you could be a first name, last name guy.
I might call him Jokes, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
And his last name is great too.
I just call him by his last name.
Wow.
Yeah.
That might be the most versatile name I've ever encountered in the wild, to be completely
I think
honest with you.
I really like calling people by their last name. You know what I mean?
Me too.
That's my thing, bro. You feel me?
Oh, that's your
That's
thing.
my thing. Yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing. I'm trying.
Just kidding.
That was a real LeBron comment. From
There's a whole.
No, I'm just
I know
saying,
what
I
you
didn't
meant.
say
Like,
I
no, that's my
started
thing.
it.
That's a
I didn't
thing
say
that I do.
start-
But the way
like,
you
I
said
like
it,
baggy
that's my
jeans.
thing.
That's my thing. I didn't start baggy. I'm not the only way the person wears baggy
Every-
jeans. I just fuck with it, nigga. God damn.
Every listener we have who is in the military or has been in the military is like, this motherfucker here.
Or an athlete. Athletes do it
That's my
too.
thing.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I don't say I didn't say I started it.
I know.
It's just-
I know.
Like, hey, John's the most creative dude I know, bro. He came up with calling people by their last name.
I did think I made up Deep Dookie when I was a kid, though. I thought I was the first person ever to say that shit.
Deep Dookie? Like
was
you're
like-
in Deep Dookie?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I was wrong, but I was like 7. I knew like 20 people already. Like so far,
You might have
It
been
was
the
an
first
original
one.
thought to you, but not an original thought to the world, right? So that counts.
Yeah,
for
for
something,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
You might have been the first one. I can't definitively remember someone saying you're in Deep Dookie before I was 7.
I'm certain. I mean, we know.
The alliteration is there, so you know that people ran with it, right? Like,
I mean,
it's
about
catchy.
our parents' generation, there's a fucking.
My mom
what's it,
never
Wednesday
said
night-
you're in Deep Dookie.
Yeah,
my
a
mom was
Bible.
telling me I
Yeah,
was in
my
deep
mom
shit when I
never
was
never
2.
did either. I'm saying her generation. My mom was not saying Deep Dookie.
Yeah, my mom
She's
did
never not
censor shit
cursed
like
in her
that when
entire
she was
life.
talking to me.
But,
I'll tell you that, motherfucker.
But
Yeah, our moms were going further than Dookie, and Tyler's mom was not going as far as Dookie.
oh wow. Hey Tyler, could you say butt in your household when you were young?
But yeah,
I felt like butt was like I could say booty, but not butt, which is weird.
I have no idea. I have
I
no
could
idea
say
why you could-
like if I said butt, I'd get a look from my elders like he's going too far. You know what I mean? Butt was for some reason butt was way closer to ass than booty, and I don't get it, bro. I never understood that.
All right. Well, we got a great question here from Dynamite Jimmy on Twitter. Who knows what his real name is? With the release of the receipts ad a few days ago, his name could be anything.
It could be anything. We got Jimmy though, but yeah, it could be James. You know,
With the
not optional.
release of the receipts a few days ago, what do you think about the receipts ad a few days ago? What do you think about Anthony Edwards' AE1 shoe and campaign? I think it's one of the best campaigns for a basketball shoe in the last decade and maybe ever.
I think it's the first shoe I've ever seen. The design of the shoe is great. I think like I could see somebody getting close to trying to wear it with jeans. I just don't think it's there yet, but it's still a dope shoe. About the ad campaign, like it's fucking beautiful, bro. Like the only people I've seen talking about like being part of the creative are Black people. So they made sure it was very, organic, you know what I'm saying, and very connected to him. You feel me? So it was super authentic. They shot the shit with like 35 millimeter, and the dude that directed it, crazy as fuck. I don't know if he's a nigga, but he like nigga adjacent. His name is Anda. You should check him out on Instagram. He fire as fuck. But nigga adjacent. But yeah, he look like he got something in him. You feel me? But nah, they kept it real organic, you know what I'm saying? And real authentic. And I think that's dope. But it's fire, G. Brilliant. And it's very simple.
Yeah, I love that Adidas realizes that the best way to market Ant is to lean into his authenticity, right? Like that's what we love the most about him. He is not media trained. He is not media trained, and I'm not saying that as a knock, because that dude is so comfortable in front of the media because he's himself at all times, and he is unfappable in that element of being himself, right? But
That's not what the timeline's been saying.
I really love it. I really love that there's a corporation that gets it.
Yeah.
That's like, bro, let him be him. That's what we want. Like there's so many media trained guys who will give you the right answer, who will say the right cliches in the post game. That's not Ant. Ant is going to be 100% real from you. And I'm glad they're not trying to dilute that, and they're not trying to make him lean away from that, because like I said, I think he is the best interview in the NBA. And it's because he's so authentic. He's so genuinely himself. And I love that Adidas is leaning into it. And it looks like Minnesota's giving him free reign with that too. So I just really, really, really enjoy, how they're how Ant is letting us into his personality, and how he seems to be, not willing to waver or to, be quote unquote polished. You know what I'm saying? So I love that.
I mean, dude, like fuck Buddy like
at Cameron.
to a Cameron tweet. Fuck Buddy. Like, bro, that's how country niggas talk, bro. You know what I'm saying? It is what it ain't. You know what I mean?
I also
like, it feel like that's his real friends.
I also love that it's the return of the sidekick in sneaker commercials.
Is that his actual homie? Because it feels like it. You would believe it because it seems so
genuine,
authentic.
Yeah. It's like we've had the Nike carved from the marble of failure. Like we've had the like big dramatic Greek tragedy athlete narrative so much. I love returning a like, oh, I'm just like I could watch 10 more of those commercials. It's just entertaining. Like I enjoyed that.
I think authenticity is probably the best way to approach like marketing somebody in general. Like with Kobe, when he was like, people were crying, saying they hated him. That's exactly the experience of being a Kobe fan, of experience that Kobe was.
Yeah.
We're like, I root against him his entire career, then I'm crying to my Buffalo Wild Wings when he retires. You know what I mean? Like, so like leaning into like the truth to make it, you know, relatable to people.
Yeah.
And I think that's fire as hell. Like, even like believe that, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody believes in himself more maybe on the planet than him. You know what I mean? So I love it, bro. I think it's super smart.
All right, I'm gonna do one more from the email, and then maybe we'll go back and forth because we definitely want to get a bunch from the chat. But I think the chat will enjoy this question. This person signed their full name. I don't know if they truly want to be associated with this question or not. But the question is, shout out to AJ for the question. It's just the initials. You know, it's like if I said Andrew J or if I say A Jones, it's like either way, then like people won't know what his name is. You know what I mean?
You're an asshole. Go ahead.
He signed his name on the question.
Bro, but
the question is this.
Okay.
How many third graders do each of you think you could knock out before you got overwhelmed?
Oh,
I don't want to think about that. Come on, man. You want me to think about how many 8-year-olds can I hit with all my might to put them to sleep before I got tired? That's the worst
all
question
my
ever,
might
dog.
is crazy. All my might is hilarious.
All right, let's take one from the. I'll say this, bro. An infinite number. You know what I mean?
All of them. but nigga, come on, man.
But I would
Ain't
never.
no way.
Not on my worst day. Not on my worst day. All right, Jackson. What's one that preferably doesn't involve child abuse from the chat?
Jesus.
No, of course not. The chat is great. What's up to the chat? Just before our question, Diego said Mike is 5 seconds from giving out social security.
You feel me?
If you put him in the email.
Let's start with our first question from the chat. From this is his listed name publicly in the YouTube chat. No one said yet. But we have Xavier H. Xavier H. listed as that in the YouTube chat. He said, "Who is the most unfappable star?" Shout out to you, Xavier.
Are we talking current
context,
NBA, all-time NBA, or?
Yeah.
I would say currently. Who is the currently in the NBA most?
Are we saying unfappable like what it really means, or are we saying
like unflappable?
Okay.
Like unflappable. I don't know. I'm not even gonna. Maybe that's an offline question to see what you meant by that.
But that's very Jenkins and Jones, nigga. You know,
I'm asking, who is the most
player?
Shout out to Xavier for asking the question.
Hey, that's where I was heading. That's where I was heading. You know,
we can answer that too, but most unflappable to start.
Yeah.
I mean, is it recency bias? Because I'm leaning in on Luka. Like that's where I'm at. Like we look at this series, bro. When he dotted Rudy's eye, there was a question during that possession: are they going to go for 2 to tie? Or are they going to go for 3 for win? When he got that switch on Rudy, all of us knew he was going for 3. Right? Not a soul knew he was playing for the tie in that moment, and he dotted that motherfucker's eye and won the game. And then you know the first quarter he had in fucking game 5, an all-time great playoff history quarter, 20 points in the first fucking quarter. He's like, let's get these motherfuckers out of here right now. Like it's just, you know, like I said, when people were trying to give Minnesota hope, I was like, that premise lies on Luka shitting the bed, and that's just not what he does, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it might be recency bias or whatever, but I'm going Luka right now. I'm going with the hot hand, bro.
I say Luka or Joker, Mike's favorite players in the NBA.
We need to talk about this. Mike, you were reluctant to embrace Joker, but you seem like you fuck with Luka. What was the difference between those?
He didn't like his body shape. You fat.
I don't like anything about the Jokic package.
He's very unfappable.
I mean, Jokic has been great to people that I care about, and I do love watching him as a basketball player. Luka to me is just a little bit more I think I would say Jokic, I think, is the most unflappable basketball player, because I think even when you saw them down by 10 or you saw them dominating, he's the exact same guy. Sure. Luka is like more in the mold of that like Michael Jordan type to me, of like Michael Jordan was a fierce competitor, but I wouldn't say he was unflappable. He was like looking for someone to flap him. You know what I mean? Like he was looking for a reason.
He was searching out the flap.
He needed the flap.
He was a flap seeker.
So Jokic to me, it's like he doesn't need it. He's
chick.
gonna play the exact same game no matter what. Luka to me, it's a little easier for me to latch on to that type of a player who's yelling motherfucker with 19 A's at the end of it in Rudy Gobert's face. Whereas Jokic, it was like, I mean, I don't know. I didn't like Tim Duncan either. It's more of a personality thing in addition to the other stuff you could bring up.
Yeah, I mean, the style of play is not, unless you're like super nerdy at basketball, because it takes a while to kind of get used to it.
It's beautiful though. I get it. I mean,
it's beautiful, but it's not like a dude dragging his nuts on it. You know, he doesn't even say nothing after he's getting his buckets and shit. It just doesn't have the same energy.
Imagine if Luka hit the falling away soccer throw in 3 over AD to clinch a playoff.
He's in the third row talking shit to like fans in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Which he did. What did he talk to an old man?
Yeah.
Front row. Yeah. With that different energy.
1934 ass taunt with a handkerchief. Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Take that shit to that Jack Dempsey fight. Like, who could deserve to clown that motherfucker, dog?
Okay, I got one from the email. Would you rather have a drink that gets you high without having to smoke, or an edible that makes you feel buzzed without having to drink?
Wow. I wonder how long did he come up with this?
Those drinks exist, first of all.
Drinks, yeah, there is, THC infused shit. Yeah. So I guess he's talking about like these are magical potions and magical edibles. I guess that's the element here.
He didn't ask for a product comparison, for sure.
Yeah, like one gulp of
no free ads, no free ads,
or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like what I enjoy most about getting faded is the journey a lot of times.
I like the process, bro.
I enjoy sipping. I enjoy smoking. It's not a process I need to rush. You know what I'm saying? And also it helps me kind of manage my shit where like, I'm faded right now. This is gonna be my last shot, or this gonna be, I'm gonna smoke half this joint and put the shit up till tomorrow, right? Like I feel like I can manage my buzz way better once I'm, actually getting it in real time as the process goes along. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoy the process, bro.
I don't really like the process.
Feels like the question from a young person.
Yeah, he got shit to do. He got bars to
trying to get to a certain level, get to a certain level at a certain point.
Quick. I feel like I don't like the process of drinking. I get all bloated and shit. I love the process of smoking though. I love the process of smoking.
How did you turn this into a question about carbs, dog?
No, it's not carbs.
I get
I just feel bloated. I feel bloated. I just feel
there's a lot of water retention that happens.
I don't like drinking my food, nigga. Like that's what it feels like drinking, beer or whatever. Like, you feel me? But smoking is just a beautiful. It's a piece. I'll just sit on the back. I just like smoking. I might smoke tree if it wasn't unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? Even if it didn't get me high, because I just like the feeling of smoking. So yeah, I would.
All right, Jackson, you got one from the chat.
Yes. Let's do from Joey. I'm just gonna say that the chat's mad at me despite a public chat for saying people's full names. So this is from Joey. Who are your favorite comedians and what
is this a thing? I think I missed the thing John was talking about earlier too.
Remember a dude said there's a dude that said he had to change his whole social media profile because I said his IG name, which was actually his government name. So that's why I'm like, don't say none of that shit because everyone just sign their names just like on some, hey, thinking we're not going to actually say the name, it's just a question.
Okay.
Like old boy did. So that's why I
apologize to
don't say names.
Various people. I was so desperate to get on the pod that when I was writing y'all questions for mailboxes, I was borderline like, should I phonetically spell out my last name for them?
How to pronounce it? Yeah, but I misspell your shit just so we can pronounce it. No, the thing is though, like you had your job, you ran a business.
My face is attached to my name anyway.
Yeah. So for me, like I was almost getting fired for this. Like niggas were trying to fire me for Jenkins and Jones. They was trying to fire me for Thug Friends and shit. So like I can relate to people that got gigs and like
Yahoo.
I like shit that people shouldn't like publicly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yahoo wasn't a fan of Thug Friends.
It wasn't Yahoo. I got hired because of Thug Friends. Yeah. I'm talking about like in St. Louis. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was the being a recruiter, going to high schools, talking to they didn't. They didn't appreciate me talking about titties and carrot cake. You know what I mean? The face of titties and carrot cake. Nigga, fuck you mean? I get it. You want to come to our school, brother? Nigga, ain't you rapping about titties and carrot cake, nigga? Like, no, it wasn't the best look. It made sense.
Titties and carrot cake.
All right, I changed the question because I like this one more. This one from Peter.
What question were you gonna ask? I want to know who got.
Damn.
Question.
No, I'll ask that question later. I honestly, honestly, what happened is I forgot that we were alternating questions from the from the email to the chat, and I had to come up with one, and I panicked. So that's why I sort of went to the first one that I saw. No, it's a fine question.
Time and look for it. We'll just start talking about.
It was the first one that I saw. No, I got one.
The WNBA is being racist.
Jackson, calm down. It's okay, man. Don't trip. Okay. I know you're young.
This question's from Peter.
You're only 22.
This question's from Peter.
But hey, man, you're doing great.
This is a question that's probably would be better for like when you guys were younger. Actually, now you're adults who probably just make decisions and don't care what people think. But when you're at an event and you don't want to be at, but you have to stick through it, what are some things you do to either leave early in a smooth way, or do you like just stick it out?
Wow, go ahead, Mike. What do y'all want to answer it?
I leave. I mean, I don't have anything that I have to stay.
Well, that's why I said this question is probably a better aimed at you guys 10 years ago.
Even when I couldn't afford to leave, I would leave, bro. I mean, that's just being real. Even when I was 23 and making $500 a month as a sports writer, if I didn't want to be there, it's like I'm only making $500 a month. I don't need to be here. You know what I mean? That was just always my approach.
Motherfuckers, even like the job that almost fired me because of titties and carrot cake, should have fired me for leaving spots early because shit wasn't cracking. I wasn't wasting my motherfucking time. Like I told you last year, I'm not a fan of wasting my time. Nigga, fuck this. I'm going to the crib. And even when I was out kicking it and shit, and the homies wanted me to stay, nigga, I was Irish goodbye shouty. I was leaving before I knew what an Irish goodbye was, nigga. I might have invented that.
That's why they call it the Irish goodbye from Jonathan O'Nichols.
I don't know. I think context matters here. I'm saying that because I'm at the point now where me and the homies just don't ride out on random weekends. Like if we linking up at a bar or whatever, like it's one of the homies' birthdays or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I usually stick around like damn near till the end with that, right? Because it's, for one, I don't see my guys but like 5-6 times a year where we kick it like that, you know, and two, like we're usually celebrating some shit when we do kick it like that. So like those situations, I'm in it for the long haul. But like back in my day when it was just like a random ass weekend and I was like, yo, I'm not feeling this shit, I would just be like, dog, I gotta go. Like I didn't sugarcoat shit. I was just that homies like, I just ain't feeling it, dog. You know,
they wasn't begging your ass with my
friends.
They wasn't begging your ass with my
friends. I gotta go home, man. I'm tired. I miss my wife. I'm gonna go home.
Because I think the thing with me was I could be jumping around in the middle of the party, going crazy, sweating, and then I gotta go. This shit, you know what I mean? So like I'm teeing up and we having a ball. And then like all of a sudden it's like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, you know, like have y'all ever been telling a story before and you're like, I don't want to finish this?
You're like, you know, I don't give a fuck. And then you're like, yeah.
I'll be telling like, Nick, do I have to finish this story? Like that's how my brain works, nigga. I'm like,
that's
I'm over
what the phrase, yeah, but shit. That's where that came from. It's just like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That's why I like Curb Your Enthusiasm so much, because I feel like that's the only character that's ever represented in that.
That's
viewpoint.
A normal human.
Just
people
like,
act like he's
I'm
crazy, bro. That is so normal. Telling a story, not want to finish it. Do I have to finish it?
The way he and Richard Lewis in the middle of a conversation just give each other the middle finger and leave. It's like that is the most authentic.
Bro, dog, I love that type shit. So yeah, G, like I think that's why people would ask me to stay, because I was just having so much fun, and all of a sudden it's time to go home, bro. You feel me? But yeah, I would just like I would just shake, dog. Adrian would always hit me up. He'd be like, "Bro, you on the highway, ain't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, nigga, it's over with." He's like, "You on the highway?" Yeah, you already know, bro. My favorite part of going out was going home anyway, so yeah, couldn't wait.
Okay, here's one from email. The initial ZG emails the following: subject line, biggest pizza. The content of the email is just the words biggest pizza. I concur.
Okay, I agree. Fuck it.
Okay.
John,
y'all agree, I agree.
All opposed?
Yeah. Well, agree. Yeah.
Okay, here's a go with a real question. I guess I just won't read anyone's name. Sorry, but thank you to everyone for I like to do the acknowledgement, but thank you to TM for writing in. Someone says, I've been tapped in with a group for a little over a year. Apologies if you covered this, but how/when did y'all meet?
Oh, how did we meet?
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit, me and John, we was homies on Twitter since like 2009, 2010 or some shit. Like
Tyler has 600 followers. Now he has 1 trillion.
Yeah, like
and the biggest
like, I remember it was like Thanksgiving time, and we were talking about like our crackhead uncles and shit who come to Thanksgiving and make Thanksgiving worth it.
Yeah, we was cracking jokes about like geekers, like, you know, when that needle hit them, you know, they really geeking in, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, laughing instead of crying type shit. That's what we got cool, you feel me? And then the first time we met in person was at we was friends for years before we met in person, and we went to South by.
Yeah, South by 2011, I want to say. Because we did 3 years straight. We did 11, 12, 13, right?
Yeah. I think was 13 the last year when we stayed at that weak ass hotel.
Yeah, 13 was the listen, bro. I don't want to sound like that guy, but that shit was so commercialized by then, bro. Like,
it was horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible, terrible, bro.
Yeah, it's been how you gonna
It's been like 15 years, dog. We old as fuck.
Yeah. Puffy ruined that shit too.
Yeah.
That's
once the Fader fort got bought out by like Revolt, it was like, it's over, bro.
Yeah. It's been
but y'all were, I mean, you guys were just talking about shit. Like you guys were writing the funniest jokes I'd ever seen to 14 retweets in like 2010.
14 was a grip too.
and then 14 was like, you going crazy. I can't even use my notifications right now.
I can't even keep up with all this. You know what I mean?
And when did you start the podcast? Like, what was the first? And I remember that was like, I must have been the first person to download it. I've never been as excited as I was when y'all. That was like Michael Jackson dropped a new album. I was so excited.
That's so cute, bro. Mike.
With the logo was like prime color blue with the two cartoon
it was
faces,
the Beavis and Butthead
and the yellow and the red. Yes, but it was like it just looked like something that was like came, you know what I mean, like that you already love
our generation, you know what I mean?
Our generation.
It was summer 15 because I vividly remember when the episode uploaded, I was pulling up at like a family reunion in the fucking sticks in Southern Virginia. I remember like just checking it just to see like the sound levels and whatever was hitting. Then I like, you know, cut that shit off when they kicked it with my family. So yeah, it was summer 2015. I vividly remember it, bro. I vividly remember the launch of our first episode.
Yeah,
2015. I remember we were like trying to figure this shit out. We didn't know, like we didn't.
You were so nervous. You were both so nervous about starting.
We were getting drunk every pod. I remember Tyler was making fun of me for drinking honey flavored Jack Daniels. Like, nigga, drink the regular Jack Daniels.
Yeah, just honey.
Drink the nasty shit, nigga.
I mean,
like,
you're the calorie guy. Why are you adding more honey? It's just straight up calories, dog.
Bro, how long ago was that? My metabolism was crazy. I ain't become the calorie guy till I had to, nigga. I was a bad bitch accidentally, nigga, back then. You remember that? I remember, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, I remember you pulling up to South by with the abs and shit. Motherfucking arms all smaller.
We had the chisels, bro. No arm surgery. You know, we was out there for real.
For sure. We was out of 6th Street, you feel me? But yeah, man.
We might have to do a drunk episode again this summer or something. I feel like that'd be fun to.
It was funner back then because we was like hopping out on chicks and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Nigga, it's over with.
It's not the same.
We got, I got a shorty. You know what I mean? It's over with. I got one on the way. Nigga, I'm cooked. I'm boring as hell, nigga. Like when people talk about going home, I don't stay out past 9. Tyler flew to spend like my 40th birthday. Flew out to spend time with me. We were in bed at 11:30, my nigga.
The highlight of our night was those good old gooey chocolate chip cookies.
I ate 3 cookies.
A very wholesome celebration.
Happy 40th birthday. I had a ball. In bed about 11:30. Bruh, nigga, I'm cooked, bro. I'm dry shit.
I don't remember what year I joined the pod, but you guys asked me on to talk about my dad on like a mailbag thing.
How did that happen though? How did we say like, hey, I think I put that question out, which is crazy. Hey, is it?
Well, so first of all, I already felt like I was like close Twitter friends with both of you. And so, but I was like trying to do everything I could to get on the pod. I would like write questions for y'all. And I was DMing John like on like a weekly or monthly basis. Like, let me know if like I'll do shit behind the scenes. I'll do promo for you. Like whatever whatever you need. I want you guys to succeed. You're the best, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then at the end of one pod, you randomly were talking about someone in your family or someone you knew who'd had a dad who was gay, but in the closet. And you were like, that must be weird. We should talk to someone who's had that. And I just immediately pulled my phone. I was like, my dad was gay and in the closet. And you were like, you want to come on the pod? Right, and I was like, I guess
your dad ever got you.
Yeah. But it's kind of interesting or serendipitous about how me and John bonded over like family trauma that we could find the humor in. And then that's kind of how you latched on too, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the prevalent theme here.
I feel like that's how all my close friends, like in high school and college, that's, that's one of the things that's been difficult for me navigating like adult friendships, especially once you have kids, is all my friends were always people that's like, they were going through something and I could relate to it, or I was going through something and they could relate to it. And we were in high school and college. Like that was regular that you would talk about, like we used to talk about who believed in God or not in college. Like, can you imagine having that conversation with someone that you've known for a month? Like that would never happen now. You know what I mean? So I think that's how most of my close friendships, I feel like, came about, is some sort of family shared trauma of some kind. And it's part of what makes all the adult stuff feel so superficial, is it's like, I don't really care about your job. Like, I don't really care about my job. Like, I don't want to talk about any of this shit.
If we talking shop, we ain't friends for real to me. You know what I mean? Like, we colleagues, nigga. You know, I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, I think like, that's kind of actually like, because we're actually such good friends, I think I say things like about my family and life experiences that I probably like, I'm thinking like, damn, should I have said that in front of so and so many people? You know what I mean? Because to me, I'm just talking to my homies. But yeah, like I think we've all like it's always been like talking about the crib, laughing about shit that probably wasn't, we shouldn't be laughing at, but it was funny to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and then we got Jackson when we joined the volume.
Yeah, I mean, our story is pretty similar. Like, I was like, you guys all experienced family trauma. Our collective boss, Logan Swaim, gave me an assignment, and I was forced to accept. So,
shouts to Logan, man. That's the bro.
Shouts to Logan, man.
Now you can't leave.
Oh well, I can't leave. It was one of those things where I was leaving my job at the time, moving to freelancing, and the volume was my first and one of my certainly my best client at the time. I'm now full time on the volume, and they were like, "We want you to produce Jenkins and Jones, and we want you to produce a unnamed NBA basketball player pod in the future."
In that order.
And I was like, "In that order." Well, because one of them existed, and one of them didn't exist. So they were like, "Yeah, in that order."
How did you feel when you got the news that the unannounced NBA player was Draymond fucking Green, bro?
It was pretty exciting stuff. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty exciting.
You thought it was gonna be like
Trevor.
I didn't know. I mean, I was
Trevor,
like, it could have been. It could have been anybody, like right?
Or something like, yeah.
It could have been. The range was wide, certainly, and I was pretty excited for someone who at that time was a 3-time champion. Now is a 4-time champion. At that time, also like not in like a weird political answer way, had also just not done as many things to be suspended from NBA basketball games as he's done.
Yeah, it was just
now that I've known him for 2.5 years.
Pure, like, this is probably the next big media guy out of the NBA, and you get to do his podcast.
It was
100%.
It was pretty sick. Yeah. So, but to bring it back here, that's how I.
Were you nervous?
I can tell you where I was
when like you got us, because like there was specific.
What was your first reaction?
Okay, yeah. Let me get into the. Actually, that's a good question.
What was the briefing they gave you on us? I want to hear.
Right.
So they were like, well, it had sort of been me and Logan and I had talked about it sort of in the lead up. He was like, I feel like you'd be a good fit. Do you know this pod? Do you know who they are? And I was like, I do know who they are. I haven't listened just from Twitter, but I haven't listened to the pod before. And so I went and listened to some episodes. At this point, there had been a few episodes that had been published already, volume episodes, before I was brought in. I joined in mid-April 2021 or whatever. So you guys had sort of been there for a little bit. So exactly. So I listened to like all of those episodes basically, and I sort of tracked with the Twitter experience that I had been, consuming your guys' content with to that point. My favorite part about listening to those episodes, and still when we've had Colin on once other time maybe, is that, maybe even not, is that he refers to you guys as your Twitter names, which I think is just incredible stuff. He calls you guys Dragonfly and LaJethro. Shout out to the boss. shout out the boss we all genuinely
Fuck with
love.
him for sure.
And yeah, so like I was like, oh yeah, this sounds great. And it was a little bit, they sort of just eased me in, and then we sort of run with it.
When
from
did we
there.
decide you would be like the fourth member? Like you'd be the person to kind of, I don't even know if we just made a decision. I think we just started throwing questions at your ass. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I
mean, us.
Okay.
That probably was the most formal way it happened. The way I like in my podcast producing
was the
career,
official
the
offer
Dookie button.
letter.
That was when he took the leap in his
that's
career.
really what made it happen.
That's when you signed on. Yeah.
That was
I
the
definitely
formal.
be a part of this.
right.
Dookie
Yeah,
button me
yeah,
down.
exactly.
You hear me?
But the like to actually answer the question, like the school of Jason Gallagher, that a man we all I've talked about
Hell
many
yeah.
times. He produces JJ's pod, yada yada. For those who don't know, he was one of my bosses at The Ringer, and his sort of ethos is this like two-way relationship between the talent and the people behind the camera, and that was sort of just pervaded, like it just sort of you know trickled down to the people who were below him on the totem pole at The Ringer, and then when I both at The Ringer with some of my work there, and then since I've always sort of occupied it, like lived in this almost like Tony Reali type of space where it's like giving information when there's like some information needed, asked for, something slightly wrong, yada yada, and then it sort of just builds. From there.
Shout out to Todd Merrill for the question. He responded and said, "Mike can say my name."
Okay, cool.
He responded his own email.
Thank you, Todd.
That's the real time kind of stuff you get from a live
What
episode.
a guy. Thank you, Todd.
Yeah. Maybe I'm overly nervous. But I just don't want nobody to ruin nobody's shit. You feel me?
Well, no, Jackson said the chat was giving him shit too. That's why I thought you were just being overly nervous. And I was respecting that, but trying to have fun with it. And then when Jackson said the chat was giving
I
him
just think
shit,
a lot
I was
of
like, is this
chat
a
people
thing?
might not know that their YouTube names are like their real names. I
Actually,
remember one time I
yeah,
commented
yeah.
on a video and that should have my full name and like 58293 at the end. I was like, what the fuck? Hell
You
no.
were Egg
I
Abby.
deleted that shit.
Yeah. YouTube turned you into one of those people we all hate on Twitter.
I'm going to ask another question from the chat, but first I have to address the chat itself. There's a lot of comments directed at me while I was telling that story. First, someone said, Barry said, Jackson seems like a big cat guy. A firm no on that
seem
one.
like a
Sorry,
cat.
folks.
You do?
I know.
I think he
Just
has the
haven't had the
plan
right
in the
cat.
back.
I don't like
I
to
don't think
cat.
he has the energy of a cat guy. You know what I mean?
I'm allergic to cats, and my parents are dog people, so I've never been.
Listen, I wasn't a cat guy either until that little fucking furball came into my life. Like, listen, just I'll say this: just have an open heart to it.
Yeah.
I
If
know,
Kim
I
brought
know, I
home a
tried
cat,
to.
you'd be the biggest fucking cat guy in the world, bro.
I'm highly allergic.
Probably. I'm allergic too. Chrisandra also said Jackson seems like he has a goldfish, maybe, which is an interesting thing to say.
Do they? They have a weird
that a
idea
compliment?
of who or what you are. Has a goldfish? I don't think a
I'm not
goldfish.
sure.
I'm not
I
gonna
feel
lie.
like a goldfish. Why not an
Goldfish is not a
aquarium?
compliment.
A goldfish is just like some 1850 shit.
It feels like a pet for like a 40.
That's a
Right?
that's
Like
a
you get the
Charlie
little weak
Brown
ass
ass
spare
pet,
goldfish
nigga.
and shit
You know what I'm
after you
saying?
do the ping pong ball in the motherfucker.
I will
Yeah,
say
I
one of
Remember
my
that shit?
one of my favorite things that's happened on the show in the last couple of years is people just freaking out when they saw Jackson because they thought he was like a super blonde like surfer dude or something.
I think they probably think Jackson's like 5'4" too, and a nigga like my height. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
The last two things from the chat that I want to address before asking another question and getting off my soapbox is John Marsh said no painted nails, Jackson. The answer is no. Just
Why not?
today I had to take
Oh,
them
wow.
off. They were getting crusty and growing out. I will have new nails.
the nail
shortly.
bed was showing.
It was getting
What color are we
a
going
little
with
gross as
on
it
the new
does.
coat?
I'll probably go back to it's about to be. I just had green, so maybe I should stick with green for the finals or something. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. And then Jay Living said, in response to you guys asking what my like sort of first thoughts were when I got assigned the pod, was Jackson probably said, with all these N bombs ? On it, but as I've said this on the pod before too, is that early on, one of my very first things to do was to like make social clips, right? And we captioned all of our social clips as we do now. And I had to ask 5 seconds into my first assignment, how am I supposed to handle this situation?
What is protocol?
And the answer was then I have no problem answering what the protocol was then. The protocol was then, and I think sort of still is now.
okay.
Actually, no, that's not true. It's different now. Is that we just didn't caption
They
N-word
were
usage
flipping
at the
through the
time.
book.
Yeah.
Where's the
And now I've changed the strategy, and we use asterisks. Because we use asterisks for all like curse words, like the F word as well. So that's why I feel like
nigga a curse
I use asterisks now.
It's
not a word that I'm typing out.
Word, I would say.
It's an inappropriate word?
Inappropriate.
I don't want to use slurs in any way.
It cannot be said at all times. Not in like I'm not. Y'all know I'm not an anti-N-word motherfucker. I am someone who fully understands the complexity of that word. Yeah, I'm someone who fully understands the complexity of that word, and I use it as a term of endearment, and also as a term of fuck this motherfucker too. So at times it's it's multitask, it's multi-purposeful. But yeah, for the most part, like I use it like emphatically, like I will say it in a conversation where shit gets real, like nigga, or some shit like that. Which is why, like, if we take it back to the Drake Kendrick beef, which is why I did not fuck with that motherfucker either. Let's have this discussion right here on that.
All comes back to that.
It all comes back. I'm not done kicking that motherfucking Canadian motherfucker. Look, the shit. Like Euphoria ended with Euphoria. Kendrick said, "I don't even like when you say nigga." Then he ended with, we don't want to hear you say nigga no more. Then this motherfucker Drake opens Family Matters with his mom on speakerphone, right? And he's talking to his mom, and his mom saying, "Well," and his mom saying, you can tell the topic of discussion is him saying nigga, right? Because from what his mom says, and his mom is saying, well, maybe you shouldn't say it if people are taking offense to it. And Drake cuts her off and opens up the fucking Family Matters song with, "Nigga, I said it, I know that you mad." I was like, bro, that's not how we do in our culture. That is not. You had a conversation with your mom and you told her, "I'm gonna do it any fucking way, mom." That's not our culture, bro. That is not our culture.
You don't know what you're talking about, mom.
Yeah, fuck you, mom. I'll say nigga if I want to. Bro, that's not our culture. Like you're playing into Kendrick's hand right here. Like the whole thing is this. I feel like Drake thought leaning into whatever was said about him was the play here too, because it worked for him with Meek, right? Because Meek was like, "You a soft motherfucker. You ain't from the streets," and Drake was like, "You're absolutely right. I am not. But you getting bodied by a singer nigga right now," and that was a masterful play right there, right? Because Drake cannot try to outgoon fucking Meek, fucking male North Philly Meek. No, he leaned into what he really was. But then it's like with the Pusha T beef, with the Kendrick beef, he got away from the non-threatening guy. And he was like, "Yo, I'm deeper in the trenches than y'all." He said that shit to a dope boy from Virginia Beach and to a motherfucker, a kid from Compton who runs with Pyrus. You try to sell us that you were deeper in the trenches than those dudes. No, motherfucker, we are not buying it. So yeah, I don't know how we got on this tangent, but it comes back to the whole nigga shit. But yeah, Drake, like, bro, I have just never been in a circumstance where I had to say nigga to someone who told me I couldn't say nigga to try to agitate them. That's never been my experience, bro. And I never had a situation where I told my mom I was going to keep saying it because people are telling me not to say it. That's not how we work in our culture, dog. That's all I'm going to say.
I will say this, though. There is nobody on this planet that can take that word from me. So I understand the vibe. Nobody's ever asked us, nigga, I'm a nigga. The fuck you mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not something I have first-hand experience with.
Regardless, I don't care about, John, my mom, I love my mom to death. I would do anything for her, but stop saying nigga. I love that word.
Your mom is anti-nigga.
Oh, it's not anti-nigga. I'm saying if she asks. I'm saying because that's, bruh, that my mom.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be
anti-nigga vibes. My mama is pro.
Yeah, because my mom is pro nigga too. So
her favorite word is motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You can't be pro. You know what I'm saying? That can't be your favorite word. And you hate nigga. You can't be from St. Louis and not like nigga for real. But yeah, man, like, nah, so I do get not wanting to give up that word. But, hey, I'm not, people ain't saying they discuss it when I say it. You feel me? So that I care about. It might be a white motherfucker from Tuscaloosa that was like, they keep dropping their moms.
If I don't give a motherfuckers just like, so, if I can't call you that, then you can't use it. No, motherfucker. Yeah. That's not how this works, bitch.
Nigga saying nigga, I don't want this podcast. Block.
People literally don't believe me, but when we signed with the Volume, I had so many friends who listened to the pod. That was the first thing they asked, was like, they're not going to let John and Tyler talk like themselves. And I was like, They have said the opposite of that to us.
They said, bro, that was when we first talked to them, we asked, and they were like, of course. I mean, they hella cool, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But
I can understand. I can understand.
But,
a lot of pods when you sign on don't let people talking the way they talk.
But
or
also
networks.
Being on the volume, the first couple episodes, I do feel like the social media responses were a lot of white dudes from Tuscaloosa who were just
there
like,
was
oh,
a
wow,
white
I
dude
guess
from
we're allowed to
Tuscaloosa
say.
that said he heard nigga too much. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you're from Tuscaloosa. I lived in Alabama 7 years, motherfucker. You just mad because you heard a nigga say nigga. You used to white people saying it, okay? You used to your motherfucking cousins. You're like, what? That's our word. You thought you couldn't believe we reclaimed it. You didn't know nigga said nigga because you ain't never heard one say it. You feel
He's
me?
like, wait, they're having fun with this word.
What,
We didn't know that. That's not how we use it. Oh, yeah, fuck you, dog. But yeah, we had a lot of bleed over from Colin's space that we had to, weed out very, very quickly. I don't think they're here anymore, but yeah.
If they are, they're not having fun.
Y'all are hate listeners if you're here still, because buddy.
Okay. Wait, is it your turn, Jackson?
Don't know.
It was my turn. We did a lot of chat
Okay.
stuff, but it was.
Is the chat still asking questions? We went off on a complete
There-
different tangent.
got back into it.
Some yes and mostly no, which is
They
fine.
like, what are these
The
niggas
chat
on?
was the chat was hyped when I went to Kendrick.
Okay, they were
so.
okay. Cool, good.
These are the loyalists, the real ones here. This question is from Sir Darko. If you're at someone's house and the food is nasty, when you throw away the plate, do you put a napkin over the food? Do you put the plate face down, or do you do
for sure
both?
the face down flip?
Oh, for
You
sure.
you can't let them know how much of their food you threw out. For sure, the face down flip, and I might try to put something else on top of that motherfucker so they don't investigate, like an empty soda can or some shit. Like
What? I'll
bury
slide
the
it under
evidence, dog.
something that's already in there, like kind of maneuver it where I can. You know what I mean? And also, I'll fold it like a taco and
Yes.
slide it under something. You know what I mean? Like, but I'll tell you what, I ain't eating no nasty food.
Right.
I'm from the south.
I will also
country
make a
motherfucker, ain't no
big
way.
show usually of going back for seconds of something else. Like, oh, this is unbelievable. And then I just leave the
I
mashed
just
potatoes
disappear.
on top of something. You just John's
I throw
on
some
the
ninja
way
dust,
home
nigga.
throwing the plate out his window.
I thought vanish, bro. I can't be no. I don't even want to be in a room with some nasty
I've
food.
never been in a house where everything was bad. I have never been in a house where everything was bad. So it's like it's like, okay, I'm gonna lean in this direction, and then yes, with the fold
What's
up.
the last time you had a nasty plate? We're like, damn, this is not good.
Yeah, I feel
When's
like,
the
we're at
last
the
time
age
you
now
had a
where everyone
nasty plate?
knows. I feel like we're at the age now where everyone knows, even if they can't cook, they know what they need to cook for company.
They know
feel
that.
like,
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I feel
Or
like in my
no
early
one's
20s,
40
when motherfuckers were just figuring it out, I had quite a few of those experiences though.
Yeah, there's no one who's 40 years old still figuring out that people don't like their cooking.
Yeah.
No, there's okay. Going to Christmas with my wife. I'm not gonna name names. There's one family that brings a dish consistently that people apparently don't like, but they haven't told the family. And I'm like, wow.
But they don't notice that people don't eat it.
It don't matter because listen, a nigga, bruh, a child would have said, this nasty. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no way you could bring a nasty plate to one of my family events and not know your shit nasty at the end. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, her family, her people really nice. Because ain't no way. And my grandmother, God rest her soul, the one my dad's mama would have told him for real. Would have said, don't bring that plate here no more. She would have said that directly. There's always one in the family. It was my grandmother. They gonna tell you. That's so yeah, bro. I don't think I've had a lot of bad plates because you really can't bring a nasty plate to a black
filter is
event.
too strong.
Oh man,
I do feel like there's overlap
with
with Italian people on that because my grandma like literally patted my aunt by marriage, patted her on the hand. I was like, you don't need to bring this next year. Like literally. And like she said it kindly, like she wasn't like fuck you for bringing it, but it was like we got enough food here and no one's eating this because it sucks. Like just take the day off next year. You know what I mean? Like,
just rest, kick your feet up, brother. You know what I mean? Don't
just
ruin
come,
our meal.
Just come as you are next year. Empty-handed as a motherfucker.
You can pick up the plates and napkins next year.
Just come here ready to give out some good ass hugs, bro.
If somebody tell you to come empty-handed, please don't bring anything. That is so funny to me, dog. Your grandmother's nice. My grandmother should be like, yeah, don't bring that plate no more, baby. Like I guess so. So she ain't like, don't bring the plate, but like she's like, yeah, don't bring that plate no more, baby. That was nasty. She'll say it like that, but she would say it in a way that she would like almost laugh. You know what I mean? Like, so
look, when I was 30, when I was like 25, 30, I look forward to being 40, or I'm 40. I'll look forward to being 60 and it being able to warmly tell people stuff like that. Cause you can't say that as a 40-year-old person to another 40-year-old person. When we're 60, you could kindly tell someone like, this is not good. Like there's something to come different from old people. I feel like.
Do you tell your friends they breath stink?
Yeah.
Me too. So I think you kind of tell them like that.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember.
Like, I'm trying to help you. I'm doing you a favor,
bro.
To tell you this.
I remember I remember this moment because I was like, thank you so much. I was in college, you know what I'm saying? And my throat was hurting. I was fucked up, you know what I mean? And so like we had a little event and my homie Julian, he hands me some gum and I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Cause I thought gum would make my throat worse. And he's like, no, John, take the gum. And I'm like, that is so
pressed
kind.
It against your
You
chest.
know what I mean? But no, it's like, no, because motherfuckers will pretend, you feel me? And so like I almost think like, I don't know. I think you could tell them in the same way. Because I would rather know if I made a nasty ass statin plate than like somebody like, this is, I was talking to this homie, and we about to get into some different shit. This is why I say this Gen Z is soft. And I'm not meaning it in a certain particular way. I think they really, but I'm saying that I'm not going there with it. You feel me? Like, I do think certain things are fine. We don't have to call people the F word or the R word anymore. You know what I mean? But like, I would rather a motherfucker tell me I'm fat. Tell me I got a back built like a Buick, nigga. So I can get, so that, like, I remember, bro, after I had the house fire, I was like kind of depressed and I was getting kind of chunky. My dad took a photo of me while shooting basketball and said, this is what you look like. I've never, nigga, he said, I just want to let you know, this is where you head, nigga. This is what you look like. And where you head a particular way, nigga. I was like around 218. Reeled it right in, nigga. I was in shape by the summertime. You feel me? So if he would have been like, hey, are you doing okay? You know what I mean? I'd have been a hefty ass motherfucker come June. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. So I appreciate honesty. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Ain't nothing gonna get you more locked into that gym to meet one of the homies and be like, damn, we eating good, ain't it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you feel me? You feel me?
like that is the best motivation you gonna get, dog.
I love when a nigga like I'm the type, this is how I do. I'll grab the meat on your back, your low back. I'll grab it. I'm like, what's this, nigga? Let me borrow one of them hot dogs from the back of your neck, nigga. God damn, you okay? Back ass nigga. I'll be like, that's the type of nigga I am. So do me the same way. I'm gonna appreciate that because that's what, like I tell, I still remember Julian. I still remember my dad pointing me out. Got the picture and the shit. This is what you used to look like. This is what you look like now. Go ahead, take with that information and do what you're gonna do with it. And I took my ass to the gym. So I like the honesty, bro.
I remember.
Tell me if I made a badass play. Tell me to take that shit back to the crib. Don't bring that shit back no more.
I remember one time, I'm speaking about bad breath. I remember one time I was riding with the homies. It was three of us in the whip. I was in the back seat. My homie was driving. It was my other homie riding shotgun. And we was talking. And my homie riding shotgun just like, you know, took a moment. He looked over at my homie who was riding shotgun with me. He's like, you all right over there, man? Your breath smell like you got a lot of shit on your mind. He's like, I'm just checking in with you, dog. Everything good?
It ain't even got a lot of shit on your mind. It's you all right over there? Nigga said, are you okay? Because
have you died?
Bro,
like, I gotta roll the window down for a minute, man. We're like, it's like if you got some shit you need to get off your chest, nigga. Dog, I was in the back dying, dog.
Bro, you all right over there, bro? Your breath telling a different story, nigga. Oh, bro. I love that shit, bro. But also, nigga, hey, laugh at me so I can get my shit right, nigga.
Yeah. Just don't do it in front of any woman, dog. As long as you know.
Yeah, we can't do it for niggas. Nigga, that make you want to fight a little bit.
As long as it's just the homies, you know.
All I can do is if I can beat your ass, that's how you know what I mean. That's the only way I can get my lick back. Literally by getting my lick back, nigga. Oh man. Also, that's a little hater shit too. That be feeling a little slick when a nigga say some slick shit like that in front of women. But anyway,
yeah.
All right, I got one from the email, and he says, "Feel free to mention that his social account is J De La Soul." This was one of the people who wrote in asking for advice, some marital advice, and he wanted to about like bringing your own anxieties into a relationship. He said he wanted to thank us because he said that what we said helped him and his wife get into and talk through some difficult stuff, which is great.
Good.
So I just want to share that because shout out to the pod helping people's lives. That's crazy.
Shout out to him for having the courage to go ahead and be vulnerable and to speak those things for sure.
And he also says shout out to 12 on Mondays. And he's in a run club with Adrian.
Oh, fire! So he's a Chicago nigga.
Yeah,
I love me a Chicago nigga, man.
So here's his question: is Tyler, what if any new thing are you looking to try on the grill this summer?
That's a question.
That's a good motherfucking question.
Do you still try new shit, or are you like? Because I know you got your shit that's like that Summer loves and that you love. Like how often do you try and make something new grilling?
Oh, I'm always on the quest of a new meat to conquer. but
pause, nigga.
Hey, yo.
I love that meat taste in my mouth. But that's a good question because a couple years back, summer 2022, I want to say, me and Summer, we went to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and we had some char grilled octopus, which was so fucking good. It was incredible, right? And that's probably like what I've been looking into. I've been trying to find like someone around me, a butcher or whatever the fuck that sells like octopus, and I'm just been like tapped in because it's a different. You don't want to get like frozen shit if you're grilling shit. You want some fresh shit, right? So I've been trying to like find that, but yeah, it's probably like trying to replicate that char grilled octopus because you know me being the ultimate fucking wife, I just want to like replicate good experiences me and my wife had together. So
you really a good nigga, man. Damn, bro, that's crazy. Anyway. Couldn't be me.
I love grilled octopus. That sounds fire.
That shit was delicious, dog.
Have you ever? I saw something online. It was like a grilled crab, where a nigga had crab on the grill. Like, is that exist? Like, have you tried that shit before?
I have never, and I am in crab fucking country. Like, was it blue crab or was it like some snow crab?
It was like some internet shit. So it might have been some weirdo shit, but it
might have been.
I don't know. It made me think. You know what I'm saying? I wonder how to charcoal, you know what I'm saying, will hit that crab. You feel me?
I'm a firm believer the best way to do crabs is steaming them with a bunch of Old Bay, but
yeah.
Just the Virginian motherfucker in me.
For sure.
Let's do two more from the chat, and then I got one more from email, and then we'll call it a night. Jackson, what you
got? You're gonna have to go next. The chat is filled with just non-questions at the moment, so I gotta go.
People really shout out to Elijah in the chat. Like,
oh, they're talking to each other.
As I was scrolling through off the last couple episodes, I was like, there's like people being hilarious. Like they're like the second screen hilariousness. Like while we're recording, there's people being funny to the chat in the chat. Like I could see why people are enjoying being in there so much. You know what I mean? All right. Actually, no, let's just bullshit while Jackson comes up with one because the one I have should be.
Okay, wait, I got one.
Yeah, hella questions. You ain't got no more in there?
Yeah. I got one from Kwame. This was asked on Bamani's show as well, but more likely to happen: Drake gets accepted by hip hop again, or country accepts Beyonce.
Drake makes the right people money, bro. That's what I would. That would be my answer on that.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know if I strongly doubt that Drake is going to be quote unquote Ja Rule. I think his career is going to be just fine. I think his new album's probably going to have like the most streams of any album he ever had because his diehard fans are going to be like, yeah, we're still supporting you. And the motherfuckers who want to see if Kendrick got them knees wobbly, if he ain't the same dude, are going to tap in and listen to it too, right? So I think his next album might very well be his most streamed album ever in like the first 24 hours or whatever. But with Beyonce,
I mean, the question is, are white people going to accept a black woman coming in there? Like, are white people going to accept a black woman coming in
before
their
black
space?
people accept the white boy that says nigga?
I just do not know why we would think white people will be more welcoming than, young black and brown people in regards. Like, that's the question we're asking here, right? And I just don't see it.
White country fans.
Yeah. I guess the bigger overall question is, like, is Beyonce going to get album of the year for Country Carter, for Cowboy Carter? And I don't think she will. I don't think she will.
There's this dude named Shabuzi.
Yeah, from
that's
Virginia,
a country nigga with. I fuck with him, and it seemed like country folks fucking with him too. He's much more traditional than Beyonce is, as far as country. His sound. I wouldn't say his sound is traditional, but I mean just how he moves. It seems like he's,
him and Tommy Richmond from the same fucking. City.
It makes sense. It makes. Yeah. I don't know why it makes sense, but it does make sense. Anything from Virginia makes sense. I think anything come from Virginia, honestly. But
Charlotte likes a lot of black musicians who are like maybe not country, but like folk or bluegrass or like roots music, and they've got acceptance in in that space for sure. But Beyonce is like famous. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Beyonce's not going to have a 7 award night at the Country Music Awards for this album. Like, let's just be real.
I would say black folk music gives me the same feeling that soul music gives me, because it's just so much spirit to the shit they're talking about. But I think with Drake, like you said, he makes the right people money. I think the thing with Drake is Drake will never be cool again. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he'll ever be cool to the people he wants to be cool, but
that's the important
part. Who he wants to think he's cool. I don't think he'll ever be cool.
We were just talking about that in the group chat. Jackson like went out on the town last night and was talking about like Not Like Us is everywhere. I was at a high school event. You had 1,000 kids chanting A minor. I mean, like you know what I mean? Like it definitely, I agree with you. And I think that's what Kendrick took from him, is that cachet with the youngest generation. Like that's what Drake wants. Like that's the image, you know what I mean? So I agree
he's
with
just
you.
a corporation now. You know what I mean? He's not a go ahead.
I was gonna say the loss that Drake took compounded with the Pusha T loss. I feel like you cannot necessarily differentiate them, because we're talking about when he stepped out in the battlefield and got bodied, right? That happened with Pusha T, that happened with Kendrick. I feel like those losses just confirm everything every Drake hater has always said about him. That you're a hit maker. Like, you're someone who's going to go number 1 with the streams. You're not someone who's going to give us, a bunch of hit singles, but you're not really one of those guys that you think you are. You're not one of those guys who got that pin working, who can get in the field, who can really, really, battle. Like, Drake is someone who like everyone says like, you're kind of in that Nelly class. And he's like, no, I'm Nas too. And we're like, nah, I don't think you're really Nas either. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're more on that sing-songy, pop hit guy tier. That's where you are. Your pen is mean. You can rap your ass off, but you'll never be one of those guys that you want to be.
I think he can rap like a motherfucker.
He can rap his ass off.
I think with skill, he's really close to those guys. I feel he doesn't have the disdain. You know what I'm saying? Like I said it before. Like, I just don't think he has the disposition in order to do what needs to be done to win battles with those guys. You can make fun and crack jokes with a Meek Mill. You ain't winning a battle with Pusha T or Kendrick cracking jokes, bro. You know what I mean? Like, some goofy shit. No, like the jokes Kendrick said were funny. They were also mean as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, they also had a lot of fuck you behind it. He ain't got enough fuck you in him. He cares too much. He got to have some more fuck in him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like he just don't have them, but I think he has the he can rap. But also I think like he went out like a sucker with Pusha T, where he's like, I had a real tough song, but I didn't drop it. Bro, it's better not to say nothing. Yeah. It's better not to say shit than to tell me you got a song, but my big bro told me I shouldn't. You a bitch.
Yeah. Even Pusha T was like, you think I'm gonna let another grown man speak for me? Are you bugging? Like,
are you kidding? How ass nigga? You know what I'm saying? First of all, you didn't have a song, and then the way you delivered the shit was weak as hell. You lying up, you look like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's crazy. So he just, the way he went out was just weak as hell. So I think more than him just losing the battles is how he went out. He looked, You know, one, he went out looking like, A minor. You know what I'm saying? They called him a pedophile in the motherfucking club. The other one, he looked like a whole bitch. Bro, that's some nasty ways to go out, bro.
Kendrick beat him in every fucking area, in every fucking category. Like, if you told me going, like, I always know Kendrick was a funny dude. I feel like a lot of people who got whiff of his humor during this battle weren't hip to Kendrick. Like, my first time listening to Kendrick Lamar was Look Out for Detox Freestyle. And he opens that motherfucker saying, I'm in the studio with Schoolboy Q. He ugly to the motherfucker. And he busts out laughing, right? Like, I knew right there he was a funny motherfucker, right? Right? And he's always sprinkling in humor in his music. But I think people heard Mr. Morale and To Pimp a Butterfly, which were like his most, heralded works, and thought that he was just a super serious dude. And that's just not the case. Kendrick is a funny motherfucker, but I did not see Kendrick being the funniest dude in this battle. Like, Drake is a fucking SNL host, and Kendrick had us cracking up at this motherfucker. Drake did not have us laughing at Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? Then we go to the streams. I thought that Drake would win with the streams. He would win with giving us, a club jam. No, Kendrick won there too with Not Like Us. Like, he just bodied that man on his court and everything that dude does. It was just a historic ass whooping. And like I said, it is an ass whooping that I don't know if he's going to get Ja Ruled on the commercial sense in regards to sales and streams. I think he'll be just fine in that arena. But in regards to like legacy with rap fans, we're like, bro, you're just not that guy. You're not who you thought you always were.
I mean, so you think Beyonce gets acceptance first? I forgot that's the question. I was just like, what was the question?
I still think Drake's gonna be just fine. Yeah. I don't think that this tarnishes him with the streams and with like the Grammy committee and shit, right? Like that, right?
You can get your ass whooped and be cool. You know what I'm saying? You can't be caught looking like a pedophile and be cool, obviously. And then you can't be going saying your big homie told me I could. That ain't cool. So that's where I feel like, and also like when I saw a nun on TikTok dancing to BBL Drizzy, I'm like, yeah, bro.
That's a tough scene,
this
brother.
A different. Yeah, he smoked that Drake pack for sure.
He got turned into a laughing stock with his Pusha T loss and his Kendrick loss. We're not supposed to laugh at the GOATs. We ain't laugh at Jay when he lost to Nas. We were just like, Nas still got it. Like, that was how we came away from that.
Yeah.
Jackson, we got one other one from the chat.
Yes, we can do from one of our most loyal stream watchers and chat commenters. From Leslie,
the homie Leslie, and I want to say from reading the chat, now I'm like fans of the super active people in the chat, and Leslie is funny. So.
That's Leslie, man.
Leslie is funny. Shout out to Leslie.
Is Leslie is that a man or woman?
It's a woman, and I think it's.
I love the name Leslie from either men or women. I love that name, bro. That's a fire ass name, bro. Anyway, go ahead.
Leslie's question is, what are your bucket list travel destinations?
Ooh.
Leslie, this is what's been on my mind lately. This is what I've been thinking about lately.
Speaking your language. Let me see. Oh, bucket list. Oh shit.
I have a real dumb, like, broke kid, like the one that's like just in my head, and I wouldn't really care if it was like the Maldives or like wherever. But you know the overwater cabanas they have? This like is like the those got their hooks in me, and that for whatever reason, that's the image I have in my head.
Off the coast type
like
shit?
Okay, in the water, like, you know what I mean? For whatever reason, that's the thing that's in my head right now of some like, you could never have dreamed of this when you were a kid.
You want to throw breadcrumbs at sharks, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's like really deep in my head to just do that with Shar, like somewhere. And then I've never been to Italy, and there's so many great places to go in Italy, and yeah, so that's it. I mean, really anywhere in Italy, but I love to go see where my family's from and shit. Like, there's every Guardabascio in America is related to me, but there's still like a lot of Guardabascios in Italy. This like kind of spread out and shit. And I'm connected with some of the older people on social media and stuff. I would love to go and like connect with that aspect,
happen, Mike.
You know?
Gotta make that happen, bro.
It's just expensive, bro. Like, and it's, I don't know. Every time we travel, we have either the travel or the lodging are taken care of. So when we went to Japan, we were staying with our friends for 2 weeks. That's the part of it where you're like, we could come up with a couple $1,000s, but you take 4 people, international flights, plus you're paying for like 2 weeks of lodging. That's where you're like,
yeah.
That's like a loan. You know what I mean? But we'll figure out. We'll get there for sure.
Yeah. What you thinking, Tyler?
I feel like I've got just 2 basic rules. I feel like I've told y'all this before about like vacation destinations. I'm like, bro, I want it to be like predominantly brown and black, and I want the food to be good. Like those are the only two boxes that I need to check when I'm like traveling places. So, Cuba is on my list, like Havana or some shit. I would love to see Cuba, and the food is incredible there. I would definitely love to see like Nigeria, like Lagos, perhaps. For my third destination, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I'm not someone who's really put a lot of thought into like traveling, so I feel like those are just like my main two that I would really like to experience. Maybe experience like Egypt and like the history there with the like pyramids and the Sphinx and shit. But that's probably about it.
Yeah, I think Accra. I don't want to go to Ghana for sure. Like that, like Christmas they have like all the like the Africans that live out in the States. They'll fly home for Christmas and there'd be a lot of shit cracking. I want to experience that, bro. That shit look fire. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely love that. And also, bro, like I heard this dude, he spends half his time here and half his time in France, like a village. And like he said, like when he wants meat, he goes to a butcher. When he wants bread, he goes to a baker. You know what I'm saying? Like every weekend they'll just do like, and everybody knows their name. And I'm like, bro, I think that's the way I'd want to live, but with niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where that is, but that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? We're like, I going to a butcher to get my meat, going to a baker, and like they ride their bikes and shit. You know what I mean? Very, very French shit. You know what I mean? But that just seemed like such a good way to live. And I think he's living in a 4-bedroom house in France in a village for like $1,500 rent. Bro, you know what I'm saying? Where's that at with more black people? That's where I want to be at. I might move for real. You know what I'm saying? I want that. I want a very simple way of existing.
Mm-hmm. All right. Last question, and this is a more serious one. This dude says he does the intros with his son, which I love, and he said his son does the WhatsApp.
That's fire. That's fire. Shout out to him.
He says, I'm a fan of the wife guy segments and how much you enjoy your family relationships and tips and advice on how to maintain a happy and healthy home. I've come to have some issues between him and his wife, with his wife having issues with his mom. And he's curious if there's been any interfamily conflict and ways it was resolved or ways the sides came to an amicable agreement.
I mean, go ahead.
I'm just gonna, you gotta side with who's right. Like if your mom is tripping, you gotta side with wifey. If wifey's tripping, you gotta side with mom, and you gotta let the other side know that they're tripping, bro. Like I feel like I don't want to say it's that simple. I know that's a very complicated situation to be in, but being that you're in the middle of that, you got to be the one who's being the straight shooter. I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
I think he's having the issues with the parent, right? Like
no, he's having issues with his wife having an issue with his mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So he's in the middle of that shit.
That sucks. I would like it was kind of reverse because, like, you know what I'm saying? My wife's in there. You know what time it is. You feel me? We ain't got to get too deep into it, but no, I feel like for us at least we had like me and Rother were always in agreement.
Yeah.
So that was dope. That was cool. So yeah, the issue, damn, that I wouldn't know what to do.
We haven't had a lot.
Tyler, what Tyler said makes the most sense for sure.
What I would add on that is we haven't had a lot of like of the specific kind of issue he's talking about. My mom had big issues with my dad's family. And I was like very aware of that from when I was like a kid, of it, just like they were overly conservative and traditional and all this other stuff. But one thing, and where I've had issues with some of my in-laws or whatever, I think one thing that's helpful, I know the listener said he has a son. What I look at it with my relationship with my wife's mom or whoever is like, what do I need out of this relationship? I don't really need anything out of the relationship. I need the relationship between my son and his grandma to be healthy and strong. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's a way to kind of contextualize things with your wife. We obviously don't know what the situation is.
It seems like it's probably in like, I mean, this is only based upon what you said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to me, it would seem like he's laying in bed with his wife, and his wife like, yo, fuck your mama tripping type
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And his mom might be tripping.
And she might
right?
be tripping. She might
Right.
be tripping. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I like Tyler. I think like Tyler's advice makes a lot of sense because in situations where my mom is tripping, I never hesitate to be like, Mom, you tripping. Like you need to chill out.
Yeah.
But my mom is very, she'll listen to me in those situations now.
That's true. But I will be honest with you that like, and I think everyone in my life knows this. I married a person who has never put me to where I'm opposed with someone, like it's me or this person, like, she's never done that. But I've told my mom like this, but I think there's been one disagreement between Shar and my mom really in our whole life. It was actually over at the end of the pandemic that my mom was like ready to be done and we weren't quite ready to be done. You know what I mean? Because we were so worried about her and her health.
Sure.
And so, my mom kind of like, she sort of like tested a boundary that Shar has set a couple of times. And I took her outside. I literally was like, let's step outside and talk about it. And I was like, listen, I actually agree with where you're coming from. And it's like, it's yours. So I understand that. So, but this is my wife's house. It's my house too, but it's never going to be anything between me and her when it comes to her comfort level in her house. So if you're not good with the rules, like I understand that, but basically the rules are going to be the rules. You know what I mean? And so that, so I don't know. I see Tyler's point for sure, but I'm also like,
it depends on the context.
It 100% depends on the context, but it's also for me, like publicly, Shar and I never disagreed about anything publicly towards another person. You know what I mean? It's always like, we'll figure that out. And then
at the crib.
I want to be clear. It's absolutely nothing wrong with him taking sides here, but he has to take sides with the right party and he has to be diplomatic with the other party.
Yeah.
He has to let he has to, if mom is tripping, he has to, let mom know, you're tripping. I'm with wifey on this one. And if wifey's tripping, he has to let wifey know you're tripping. I'm with mom's on this one. He has to be diplomatic about the shit. I feel
but also he may not be able to solve that issue and it may be for them to solve it too. So he shouldn't take the responsibility as well. You know what I mean? Like, I think it becomes kind of,
And I think that that's a great point. Cause I think that's a huge part of marriage is knowing which things are your responsibility and which things aren't your responsibility. And and if the correct thing to do here is to suggest to your wife and your mom, like, you need to be united in being part of our kids' upbringing because no one, I mean, you'd have to have a really foul set of parents for you to not think that your child's life will be better with grandparents. Right. And so like, and I had my dad's parents had issues. I mean, major issues. My mom's parents had major issues. I'm sure there's stuff about my mom or Shar's mom or whatever that for our kids, but like having grandparents is that's such a blessing and a gift. Our kids only have 2 of them. So we hang on tight but maybe that's your role as the dad and husband in this or son and husband in this is just to say, set priorities and step away from it or something. I don't know, but that's tough, man. That's real life shit right there.
I think it can get real uncomfortable or difficult when you make somebody else's feelings your responsibility. You know what I mean?
It never, I would say this, that
never works out.
That never ends out.
Never ends well for anybody involved. So
yeah,
if asked your opinion, you can give your opinion and be honest, like Tyler said. But like if it's a situation that's personal between them, it's not your responsibility to solve that. All you can do is be, like you said, like Tyler said, diplomatic.
And it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable when you talk about, I mean, as a man, your wife and your mom, my kids obviously are, up there as the most important things for me. But
your wife's the most important person in your life, but your mom is like
the center of your
she's the biggest, she's the foundation of you being yourself. Like I would say,
those are the 2 people that you fight anyone on earth for, right? Like your wife and your mom, so it's and when it's at odds, it's a difficult situation for sure.
For sure. I hope it helps somewhat. Man.
Yeah, for sure.
Good luck. That's a difficult situation.
All right, let's end with Dookie Butt of the Week. I'm gonna go first. The people who made the new Garfield movie, man, you bummed me out. That movie sucked.
Really?
And I'm a Garfield. I was a Garfield fanatic.
Wasn't it a day one Garfield story? Like I saw the promos with Garfield as a kitten and shit.
Yeah.
They still fuck that up with cute ass kitten Garfield.
I tweeted yesterday that I had seen it and someone responded, is it true that they made his love for lasagna a trauma response to being abandoned outside an Italian restaurant? And all I could do was respond, yes, that is true.
When I was saying shit this generation too soft, nigga. They ruined Garfield, nigga.
That shit's sad as fuck. He
gotta
fell in love
chill,
with
bro.
lasagna because he was a stray and he was eating lasagna. That's how they
You gotta
spun
chill,
it.
man.
Kind of,
You gotta
dog. It's
chill.
like, but like they made the whole story about he had like a single dad who he thought abandoned him, but secretly his dad loved him. It's like, man, my dog hates Mondays and likes pizza, bro. Like it just doesn't have to be bigger than that.
It doesn't need to be sensible. He hates Mondays and he doesn't even have a job. Like, why are we trying to make sense of shit?
And like, yeah, and they try to do some shit with that too. It's like, oh, Monday was, like
Monday was the day I got abandoned by my family in front of the Italian restaurant where I had to eat lasagna to sustain myself.
But like when you look at like the modern adaptations of things we grew up on that succeed like artistically, not just nostalgically, like Sonic the Hedgehog, they're not trying to have that be like he's running from his problems. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you lean into the like funny or simplistic shit about a character. Same thing with the new Ninja Turtles thing. Like, so it just, to me, it was like, I don't know. It kind of bummed me out though, because I took the kids. The kids loved it, Saw
that's all that matters. Then
saw it in the theater full of kids. The kids all spontaneously were applauding for sure. But it's like
we grew up on Garfield and Friends on Saturday mornings. goddamn it! And we were appalled at what they did.
There's no Nermal. They created all these weird other characters.
Not for us, man.
How was Nermal in that motherfucker?
Nermal wasn't in it, dog. That's what I'm saying. It's no Nermal. Like they created
no motherfucking Nermal in this motherfucker.
See, all right. I don't want to get too deep on Garfield, but Garfield was one of those things. Like I loved Garfield as a kid, and I would show all the comic strips to my mom because she thought it was funny too. Because she was like, "This motherfucker is really vibing with me." You know what I mean? Like, so that, like, I felt like it was one of those things where the sense of humor. It wasn't like it wasn't like the Far Side. It's like that's for your mom and dad or some shit. You know what I mean? It was like this is funny for kids and adults understand it. Like, and I don't know.
Far Side though.
What's that?
But yeah, I fucked with Far Side. I didn't relate as much to Garfield, but go ahead. Yeah.
I wasn't showing it to my friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
sure.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my Dookie Butt of the week. John, who's your Dookie Butt of the week?
My Dookie Butt is a nigga that said at 25, Luka is better than LeBron.
Yeah.
Bro,
no.
What are we doing here, man? Do we have to do that? Can we not just enjoy the moment? We don't got to lie. There's enough shit here for us to enjoy and not lie to ourselves. How old are you, brother? Do you remember that nigga? Do you remember anything about that motherfucker? Okay, because doesn't seem like it. To say that Luka is better than Bron at 25, we don't have to do that, man. Come on, G. Luka's good, and Luka's great. He's great. Can't lie. We don't need the extra bullshit, bro. You know what I mean? Come on, G. You tweaking. It doesn't have to be that,
bro. Motherfucking. Like, before Bron was 25, he had that game 5 versus Detroit.
Yeah.
Come on, man. What are we talking about here?
Come on, bro.
What are we talking about?
Come on, bro. Was it 25 straight points in the fourth?
Yeah.
In overtime? 25 straight? Crazy.
Yes,
come on,
25 man. Straight.
Come on, man.
Like, bro, I'm a big Luka fan. I think he's the second best player in the world. Like I said, I'm ready to get crazy if he wins the finals, and let's talk about if he's the best player in the world. But no, he's not better than 25-year-old LeBron.
Yeah.
No.
Come on. And it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be anywhere close to him to be great.
Right.
We're talking about the GOAT here, man. Come on, man.
Tyler, your Dookie Butt of the week.
It's probably gonna be Eminem, man. It's probably gonna be Eminem motherfucking M. That shit that single he dropped where it was just so bad, dog. It was just so bad. He said, like, I'm riding around listening to R. Kelly's favorite group, Black Guy Peas. I'm like, is it 1998 again? Like what are we doing? He made the little weak ass jab at Meg Thee Stallion. Like, I wonder if I'll have a shot to have her give me a feat, like a feat and / feature. Like, just terrible, dog. Like, why are you still leaning into like shock rap and you are 57 years old?
And the shit is whack. The shit is one of the dudes who said, like, if I'm still rapping when I'm 40, like, euthanize me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He was
that I remember you calling Benzino old. Now you are 17 years older than Benzino was when you called him that. Like what are we doing here, dog? So I just don't fuck.
Josh just put your own tweet to you in the chat. Eminem stays dropping those pirate playing an accordion singles.
That's what that should sound like. That should sound like a pirate playing the accordion. It's just not even good. You are one of those washed up comedians whose whole shit is they're trying to cancel me. Peep my new Netflix special, right? Like you're that guy now. And I want to be clear, like I think there's a lot of revisionism with Eminem. I think people are like, we never fuck with Eminem. Oh, yes, we did.
Come on, stop lying, bro.
We did. There was a time where I thought Eminem was the coldest motherfucker bar on the planet. There was like a 3-year stretch from like 99 to 02 or so where I was like,
wow,
nobody can out rap this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right. But,
sure.
but nah, he's leaning into cheap gimmicky shit, and he's so much better than that. Lyrically, I will say I don't know about his character in regards to the whole better than that aspect, but yeah, he's my.
Sometimes someone makes a joke about someone that's so funny that it just destroys the whole person. And I don't even remember what comedian it was, but someone did that impression of Eminem where they're like, "We got a whole lot of napkins, napkins."
And that dude turned out to be a piece of shit who was like,
he's a pedophile, right?
Yeah, he was still like hitting up like 16-year-olds on Snapchat. So.
Of course. And I literally don't even know his name. I just know every time I see Eminem, and I was to say Eminem is probably my favorite rapper through high school, but like every time I see him, I'm just like,
he was
whole
your
lot of
favorite rapper
napkins.
through high school?
Like
Eminem
in high
rap,
school,
dog.
like
let's not act like he couldn't.
I know, but yeah.
I was that 99 to 02 was my sophomore through senior year of high school, and we were. I'll never forget. It was a
Slim Shady to Marshall
show.
Mathers to Eminem show. That's a hell of a run.
Those 3 albums.
Snoop was still
crazy.
dropping fire.
Yeah, I mean Snoop's my favorite, but Snoop's not even on a like. No one's on a comparison to him. But
Snoop's
I remember
not even a rapper.
distinctly.
He's one of your favorite people.
I remember distinctly. There was like a VH1 or MTV thing where Snoop Dogg said he thought Eminem was like the best rapper alive, or that he was like the coldest writer or something like that. And I remember that was like the next day at Poly. That was like. Everyone was like that was like social media. Like if everyone got the topic for the day, it was like Snoop stamped him. You know what I mean?
we heard what that motherfucker did on Renegade against Jay. Like, let's not front.
Yeah. Jackson, your Dookie Butt of the Week.
My Dookie Butt of the Week.
And Jackson reminded me to do Dookie Butt of the Week, so I know he has a good one.
Well, I feel like it's important to talk about. Is that and on Wednesday. We went live in the morning, and I want to emphasize there's a large. We have like 160 straight people watching us right now, and there have been throughout the entire 85 minutes we've been going.
Shout out to y'all.
We it's amazing. There were a couple people in our chat on Wednesday who were spouting some anti-trans, some homophobic, some anti-vax rhetoric. And I just want to say that you're an adult. You can do whatever with your time. That includes listening to our show, not listening to our show, commenting on our shit, not commenting on our shit. But I want to say that if anyone listening to our show thinks that is what this space is supposed to be, this is not what that is.
This is not a safe space for you to spew bigotry, bro. We don't fuck with you. You can leave. I don't give a fuck if you unsubscribe.
Also block that shit, man. Get them up out of there.
Yeah, fuck
like, if they do that shit, next time get them up out of there, bro. We don't got no time for that shit. Fuck them.
Salute.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Cool.
Normally, I would say having the listeners be Dookie Butt of the Week is a bad idea, but I can't disagree.
No, we are the Dookie Butt of the Week for doing it on Wednesday morning.
Sure.
It's on me. I scheduled us then. It's a learning experience for all of us, you know. And I love our
thank you to everyone who's been listening on the chat tonight. We appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go back and read those comments.
The night chat's where it's at. They got the good vibes.
All right, so the schedule for the week, we are going to record to drop. We're going to record an NBA Finals preview. When is that going to drop, Jackson?
We're recording it on Monday, and we'll drop on Tuesday.
So that'll be out on Tuesday. Then we are going live after the Finals Game 1 on Thursday, and then Game 2, I assume, is Sunday. Is that correct? So we'll be live after Games 1 and 2, in addition to the Finals preview dropping on Tuesday. Thank you so much to everyone who's been with us tonight, and as we said, who's been tuning in for these lives. It's been a lot of fun. This was not planned. This was like almost entirely spontaneous. This was not planned that this is what we were going to do with the NBA playoffs, but we did, I think, the first live, and it was so much fun, and the numbers were good, and everyone was having a good time. It was like, okay, let's just keep it going. But we appreciate you guys listening and hanging out with us. If you're listening on the pod, youtube.com/@JenkinsandJones, come hang out with your fellow Jenkins and Jones friends, and we'll see y'all on Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.